How can you tell if a woman is actually interested in you sexually? How do you know if she's truly attracted to you? Because there's a clear difference between a woman simply enjoying a conversation or seeing you as friendly and a woman who feels real attraction towards you. So what we're really going to explore today, what I want to share as my little birthday gift to you, is the signs, the body language cues a woman will start to display when she's sexually or romantically interested in you, when she feels that element of attraction. That's what we're diving into in today's episode, so stay tuned. But before we get into it, if you're new here, welcome to the podcast. We talk about everything related to life, dating, relationships, and how to navigate this wild and sometimes confusing world we all live in. And when you're out there single and dating, you often find yourself in pretty vulnerable situations. And that's usually when the overthinking kicks in, right? What is she thinking? What does she want? What do women actually want from me? So today, I want to go over 9 body language signals to watch for. I'm going to break down 9 body language signals that you should understand, be aware of, and start noticing when you approach and interact with women in person. So let's skip the long intro and jump right in. Now, before I go through these signals, it's really important to understand that no single sign on its own automatically means a woman is sexually attracted to you. What you want to pay attention to is a combination of these behaviors. For example, one of the signs we'll talk about is a woman glancing in your direction. She might do this subtly or shyly because she doesn't want to be caught. Now, if you're out in public and a woman looks your way and you instantly assume she's sexually attracted to you, you might be jumping to conclusions a bit. That's why it's important to understand all 9 signals and look for multiple ones happening together over time. That's when you can feel much more confident that she's actually interested, because a single glance alone doesn't necessarily mean attraction. It's when it's paired with other cues that it becomes more clear. So think of this as looking for a pattern over a period of time. Okay, so starting with signal 1, sneaky glances. I already hinted at this one. A woman will look in your direction, she'll steal little glances at you, and she does this in a subtle, almost playful way because she doesn't really want to get caught. When a woman looks at you, it shows interest. She's observing you, taking in your appearance, your body language, your movements. But at this early stage, she may not feel fully comfortable holding direct eye contact. We know that strong eye contact can feel very intense and intimate, which is why people tend to look and then quickly look away. In fact, maintaining prolonged eye contact with someone you don't know well can feel quite nerve-wracking. So if she's attracted to you, she'll glance over, and if she catches you looking, she'll likely look away quickly. She's trying to gauge your interest without being too obvious. This behavior comes from a mix of curiosity and caution. She might find you very attractive, but she doesn't want to come across as overly eager. So those quick, shy glances are her way of showing interest while still protecting herself from possible rejection. So sign number 1 is repeated sneaky glances in your direction. Signal 2, lip biting and licking. This one is more likely to happen once you're actually in a conversation with her. A woman may start biting her lips or licking them, and often she won't even realize she's doing it because it's a subconscious behavior. Lip biting or licking can draw attention to the mouth, which is a very sensual feature. It can also signal nervousness or excitement. Sometimes, even outside of a romantic context, women might do this when concentrating. But in the context of a conversation between you and her, it can indicate anticipation or arousal. Your body naturally reacts to excitement, and one of those responses is moistening the lips. It can also subtly communicate interest in physical closeness or intimacy. Some more confident or playful women might even do this intentionally, knowing that men are naturally drawn to movement, especially in more sensual areas. So creating that small movement around the lips is a quiet way of signaling attraction. So lip biting or licking is the second body language signal. Signal 3 and 4, head tilting and hair flicking. Another sign you might not immediately think about is when a woman tilts her head to the side. Yes, sometimes it's just a natural gesture, but when a woman is genuinely engaged and interested, it can signal openness and receptiveness. It can also expose the neck, which is a more vulnerable and sensitive area, and that suggests she feels comfortable and safe around you. Tilting the head often means she's really listening closely and engaged in what you're saying. When people are deeply interested in a conversation, they don't always sit in a perfectly straight posture. They lean in, tilt their head, and focus in more closely. So this gesture reflects trust, interest, and attentiveness. Now, paired with this, she may also flip her hair back or tuck it behind her ear. Again, this exposes the neck and draws attention to her face and other attractive features. It's also a subtle way of grooming, which across many species is a sign of attraction. She might not even be aware she's doing it, but it highlights her features and can even draw attention to areas where she applied perfume, like her neck or wrists. So head tilting combined with hair movement is another strong signal. Signal 5, moving closer. As the interaction continues, she may begin physically moving closer to you, reducing the distance between you both. This is a big indicator of comfort and interest. Physical proximity is often linked to emotional closeness. We tend to move closer to people we feel safe and comfortable around. And by doing this, she's also increasing the opportunity for physical touch, which is another step forward in connection. So when she closes that gap, it's a clear nonverbal way of showing interest. Signal 6, light touches. Once that distance shrinks, you may start to notice light, casual touches. These won't be bold or overt at first, but small touches on your arm, shoulder, or back, especially during moments like laughter. These touches help create a sense of connection and familiarity. They're also a way for her to gauge your reaction. If she touches you and you pull away, she may interpret that as disinterest. But if you respond positively or reciprocate, it helps build mutual comfort and rapport. Touch is a powerful form of communication and often signals growing connection and attraction. Signal 7, repositioning and cleavage. If things are going well, she might begin to shift her posture or reposition herself closer to you. Sometimes this is subtle, but it can also be a more overt sign of flirtation. She's using her body to communicate attraction and draw your attention. Again, most women aren't deliberately thinking about it in an obvious way, but as they move closer, their posture naturally changes, which can highlight these areas. Signal 8, mirroring gestures. Another key sign is mirroring. This is when she subconsciously copies your body language. If you put your hand in your pocket, she might do something similar. If you take a sip of your drink, she may follow shortly after. This kind of behavior builds rapport and creates a sense of alignment between two people. It's an unconscious way of saying we're on the same wavelength and feeling comfortable together. When body language is in sync, it feels natural and easy, but when it's not, it can feel off. So mirroring is a strong indicator of connection and attraction. Signal 9, playing with hair. Lastly, a woman may start playing with her hair. This can be linked to nervous energy, but also to flirtation. She might twirl it, adjust it, or run her fingers through it. This behavior can help release nervous energy, but it also draws attention to her appearance and femininity, making her feel more attractive in the moment. So these are the main body language signals women tend to show when they're attracted to someone. And again, the key thing to remember is that it's not about one single sign. It's about noticing a pattern of several signals over time. A single glance or touch doesn't mean everything, but when multiple cues start showing up together, you can feel much more confident in reading the situation. Even if you're not yet in conversation with her, she might still display some of these behaviors from a distance, glancing over, adjusting her posture, or subtly showing those flirty gestures even while talking to a friend. So I hope this gave you some clarity and insight. Pay attention to these signals because often women won't directly say they're attracted to you. Instead, their body language will communicate it for them. Thank you guys for tuning in to today's episode. This is my little birthday gift to you, diving into this topic to help you better understand women's body language and hopefully give you more confidence out there. And who knows, maybe tonight you'll catch a beautiful woman glancing your way. Ciao. Men chase, boys get things started, but legends are the ones who walk away. The moment you stop chasing a woman, something powerful happens, something she never expected. Her whole reality begins to shift. You're not just removing yourself from her life, you're taking away the very fuel that fed her ego. The second you stop giving her validation, attention, and your energy, she starts to feel something unfamiliar, something she never wanted to experience: powerlessness. Have you ever seen a woman's behavior completely change the moment a man stops caring? One minute she's arrogant, entitled, treating you like you're just an option, and the next she's checking your social media, sending "Hey stranger" messages and coming up with the most random excuses to reach out. And you sit there thinking, wait, the same woman who ignored me is now acting like she misses me? No, she doesn't miss you. She misses what you were giving her. Your attention, your validation, your desire. This is what happens when a man realizes his true value. And this is exactly why you have to be willing to walk away. But before we go deeper into this harsh reality, I need you to do something.
If you're ready to hear the truth all the way through, drop a comment below saying, "I am the prize." Say it, type it, own it. And if you want more of this raw, unfiltered truth to reach men who need it, hit the subscribe button so YouTube pushes this message to those still stuck in the cycle, and together we break them out. Number 1. Shock and denial. Women are experts at subtle control. They don't need physical strength. They don't rely on force. Instead, they use psychology, manipulation, and power dynamics to keep men emotionally hooked. And most men fall into it every time. A woman doesn't have to love you to control you. She doesn't even need to care. All she has to do is keep you wanting her. That's the game. She gives just enough attention to keep you interested, just enough affection to make you feel special, just enough validation to keep you attached. But the moment you try to lock her down, she pulls back. Why? Because if you feel secure, if you feel in control, she loses hers. So she withholds just enough to make you chase harder. She takes longer to reply, cancels plans last minute, suddenly becomes busy when she used to be excited to see you. And what does the average man do? He tries even harder. He texts more, calls more, puts in more effort. And that's exactly what she wants, because the more you chase, the more control she has over you. But everything changes when a man wakes up, when he stops playing her game. He stops texting first, stops calling, stops chasing, stops trying to prove himself, and he walks away. The moment he does, she feels it. At first, she pretends she doesn't notice. She acts like everything is normal, but inside, she's panicking. She tells herself, this can't be real. He's not actually leaving. He'll be back. He always comes back. Because in her experience, men always do. They break, they give in after a few days. But this time, it's different. You don't text, you don't check in, you don't chase. And that's when the first crack appears in her reality. She starts testing you. She likes a photo, sends a random message, watches your stories and waits. And in that moment, she's doing something dangerous for her ego. She's waiting for your response, checking her phone constantly, hoping you'll reply. And if you do, she wins, because it proves you were never really gone. But if you don't, if you stay silent, if you truly walk away, her sense of control breaks completely. That's when panic turns into self-doubt, and phase 2 begins. Number 2. Self-doubt and reflection. At first, she lies to herself to protect her ego. He's just playing games. He's trying to make me jealous. He'll come back. But as time passes and you still don't reach out, her mindset starts to shift. She doesn't want to accept it, but she can't avoid it, because deep down she's feeling something new: rejection. Men deal with rejection constantly. It's part of life for them. But for many women, this feeling is unfamiliar because they've always had options, attention, and men pursuing them. And now, for the first time, a man has truly walked away. So she starts asking herself something uncomfortable. Maybe I'm not as special as I thought. This is where insecurity begins. She spends more time looking in the mirror, puts more effort into her appearance, checks your profile, wondering if you've moved on. Because her identity has been tied to being desired, being wanted, being chosen. And when a man she thought she had control over no longer wants her, it forces her to face a reality she avoided. She starts questioning herself. Am I losing my appeal? Did he find someone better? Was I not enough? And that leads to something else: jealousy. Now she's watching your activity, checking who interacts with your posts, looking at your followers, because now she's the one chasing, even if she doesn't show it on the outside. Inside, it's consuming her. And this is why women often come back, because they struggle with the idea of a man moving on without looking back. And the deeper this feeling gets, the more desperate she becomes, which leads to the final phase. Number 3. Rationalization and rebound. At this stage, her emotions are all over the place. She's gone through denial, panic, and self-doubt, and now she enters the most destructive phase: rationalization. This is where her mind starts protecting her from the truth. She lost control over a man she thought she had, a man who wasn't supposed to leave. Instead of facing that reality, she rewrites the story. She tells herself she was never that into you anyway, that you were too needy, too obsessed, too weak. She convinces herself she deserved better. She'll even tell her friends a version of events where she ended things first, even though you were the one who walked away. But understand this, she's not trying to convince others, she's trying to convince herself. Because deep down, she knows she lost a man she couldn't control, and that bothers her. Instead of sitting with that truth, she looks for a distraction, and that's where the rebound comes in. She quickly finds another man, usually someone easier, someone who gives her attention without resistance. But she's not choosing him out of love, she's using him to fill the gap left in her ego. She needs validation again. She needs to feel desired again. That's why suddenly she's posting more, going out more, showing how happy she is. She wants you to see it. She wants you to trigger a reaction. But the reality is she's not winning, because deep down she doesn't respect that new man. She knows he was easy. He didn't challenge her. He didn't walk away. He ran toward her. And women don't respect men they can easily control. So, over time, attraction fades. She gets bored. He doesn't excite her. There's no challenge, no mystery. And eventually, she starts pulling away, looking for something else. And who comes back into her mind? You. Because now she realizes the mistake she made. She traded strength for comfort. She gave up a man with boundaries for someone she doesn't value. And that realization stays with her. This is why women come back, not because they love you or truly miss you, but because they believed they could do better, and then realized they lost something rare. They come back because you were a challenge, and they replaced you with something easy, because they thought the grass was greener and discovered it wasn't. But by the time they understand that, you're already gone. You've moved on, you've become unavailable, and that's where your real power lies. Most men never learn this. They keep chasing, keep texting, keep seeking validation, and that's why they lose. But the men who understand this and truly walk away become the only men who are respected. Because the truth is, women don't respect men they can control. They respect the ones who can't be controlled. And once you understand that, everything changes. You stop chasing. You stop seeking approval. You stop trying to prove your worth. Because you already know it. You are the prize. If you made it to the end, drop a comment saying, "I am unstoppable." And if you want this message to reach more men, hit the subscribe button so it spreads to those still stuck in the cycle. Be the man who walks away. Be the man who chooses himself. Be the man who isn't afraid to lose her. Because once you become that man, you don't lose anymore.